Let's begin the feast of the Yomi Purge.
上松様、お願いしますよ。
神内様に献上されたおみきです。年少者から順に回し飲みしてください。
お酒？
あなたはお口をつけるだけ。
未成年者は飲むなよ。
Not lucky it killed me.
安永も何か言ってやって。
Yoshisuzuku is the traditional sake. Shut it. I know it's Aniki. I know it is Aniki, which means brother.
飲みたくない。
はるちゃん、チュッてして。はい、終了。僕も終了。
Same here, Chini.
ここから大人ね。いただきます。
私はこのくらいで。
It's better than I expected, Moro. We're drinking the sake during the day. This feast is something. Here, old man.
耐えばこぼすなよ。
はいはい、いただきます。おじいさん、モテるかいね。
酒か。一通り回ったか。耐えば説明せ。
みんなお話は知っておるね。夕霧が立つとき、狼様はよみがえり、人を亡きにせんとされる。よもつ狼のお印が2つ。こたび狼様がお二人を血戻られた。じゃからあたしらは神内様の言う通り、こうして宴してお守り様の加護のもと狼様を探してくくらねばいかん。従わずば神内様は汚れを下される。それはとても恐ろしい死に目を見るということよ。汚れを受けたくなくば宴に出て狼様を亡きにする。それがわしら安水の者の役目。
お姉ちゃん、亡きにするって何？
殺すという意味よ。
怖い。
大丈夫。私が守ってあげるから。遮って申し訳ありません、山脇さん。
ええのですよ。小さい子のすること。狼様かもしれんのはその子だけじゃございません。
Good grief, what nonsense. If that's what you think, you just fuck off and let the corruption have you.
義継、お前は。
Obrian-san, I'm concerned about your son's upbringing. I'm like this because I want to be. Don't drag this hag into this. Shut up, Yoshisuju. I'll punch you. Takumi-ne? The hell you acting up tough for? If I say I'll punch you, I will. You too, Kaio. You don't have the guts. Hear that? Adults don't let stuff like that get to them. Anyways, Bajan, this doesn't seem right to me. I've been hearing about this ever since I was young, but it never made sense to me. We've been here for as long as we can remember, with the exception of Mako. We all know each other. They've been replaced by wolves like hell. They're the same as always. What? You're saying there's someone shady among us?
どいつも怪しい。
おじいちゃん。
春も気をつけ。けだものでも人を騙す。人ならなおさらよ。こん中にわしらを騙して平然としとるもんはおる。
なんでそう断言できるんです？
昔のもんの言葉には真実がある。
まあいいですけど。
安水のパープーの言ってきたことだろう。
Chikama Mochi?
そんな。
Mochi, stop that. I'm sorry, but we do what we gotta do now. What do you mean? We talk and decide, right? Will that be enough? I mean, we're deciding to kill here, aren't we? Everyone will say what they think. Then we'll narrow down to the most reasonable option or opinion. Chini, what do you
少
think?
なくとも全員怪しくないと思う人と全員怪しいと思う人がいる時点で破綻してると思うけど、決まるはずのない会議を延々やっても苦痛なだけ。それに耐えかねてみんな偉い人の鶴の一声を望み始めるし。
地位は何が言いてえ。
Don't worry too much, Chimi. Most of us are the Yasumi brothers and sisters. It'll work out in the end.
匠兄ちゃんの仲間思いなとこすごく嬉しいけど、その仲間から一人選んで殺すんだよ。もっと嫌なこともあるよ。仲間から選びたくなかったら仲間じゃない人から選べばいい。自分がそんなに好きじゃない人とか、ここに来て日が浅い人とか、少なくともそういう理由では絶対に選ばないようにしないと大変な間違いをしちゃうんじゃないかな。
Hey, I'm trying to say that killing and all is insane and we should stop it.
匠、それはいかん。
Ba-chan, saying the same thing. That's why we gotta talk it out, you know?
わかるけどね。
ちょっと。
はーい、はるちゃんが喋ります。
知恵姉が連れてきた男が記者の人たち殺したとか、そういうのないのかな。
言ってるそばから。
See, what did I just say?
僕はないと思うよ。勘だけど。みんな、どうですか？
Tamakini, you said he's shady. But like Jamie said, we shouldn't make decisions based on that. Also, the guy's weird, but I don't think he'd do something like that.
それは私も賛成だけどね。とにかく私たちの問題なんだから私たちで解決するべきだと思う。
Isn't that basically choosing someone based on who you like? So how do you think we should choose Kiyonosuke? I believe majority rule is the most reliable method here in Yasanaga Oribi.
民主主義万歳ってわけです。らしくもないですね。
I'm merely saying that there is no better way to get the common opinion of this many people. Also, talking it out and making decisions then is basically taking the conclusion most people agree with. No, that's the same as majority rule. Otherwise, like you mentioned, everything would be decided by whoever had the most influence. Who would that be here in Yasumizu, Kanzo, Makishimashi, or Tayamakaki-san who would be killed? Isn't that foolish considering the people deciding might themselves be wolves?
野里さん。
Just so you are aware, I have no intention of dying. At the very least, I want a method where I can, let's say, in what happens. I'm against that. Majority rule? Yeah, you'll get a conclusion, but there's no guarantee it'll be right. I think talking it out and deciding is the best. Speaking of which, what would we even talk about?
タイばあちゃん、宴には山のお守りが力を貸すって話だよね。
そうよ。蛇様、猿様、カラス様、それにクモ様が力をお貸しくださる。
詳しいことわかる？
蛇は狼が誰か山に聞ける。猿だけ2匹おる。お互いが猿じゃと知っておる。カラスはくくられたもんが狼じゃったかどうかや
山に聞ける。雲は狼から一晩だけ他人を守ってやれるよう山に頼める。
その通りじゃと私も聞いておりますよ、おじいさん。
狼来たの。
あんたこれを知っとったのですか。あんたボケとるかと思うたが信心があったのね。
おじいちゃんのことは置いといて、じゃあこの中の誰かがそれぞれの力を受けてるはずだってこと？
それってどういうこと？というか神様とかお守りとか本当にあるの？ただ昔話になぞらえて誰かが人殺しをしてるだけじゃ。
はるちゃんや神様はちゃんとそんなことはない。みんな生まれてからこれまでに神内様のお姿を見とるはずじゃ。
そんなのただの。
Calm down, Haru-chan. Are you all right?
ごめん。
Whether it's true or not, we should start by putting together what we know. It's too early to decide anything. Let's make the guardian thing a bit easier to understand.
若い子はもっとちゃんと昔の話を覚えんといかんね。
蛇は見破る、猿は手を取る、カラスは味を見る、雲は守る。
The snake can discover the wolves among the people. It's also the guardian of the Miguru family. The monkey knows for certain that the other monkey aren't wolves. It's the guardian beast. The crow can tell if one who dies was a wolf or not. It's my family's
めんどく
Nosatos
さいよね。
silence, and the spider can keep the wolves from entering someone's home.
そうですね。それぞれの家の門にもそれぞれのお守りがあしらわれています。
But how do we do those chosen by the guardian use their powers?
蛇は夜他の生きとるもんの名前を何かに書いて枕の下に置いて寝る。翌朝それが人か狼様か神内様に教えてもらえるそうよ。猿は2人おって加護を受けた時にもう一人の猿が誰かを神内様に教わるそうじゃ。カラスは前の日にくくられたもんが人かどうか知れるそうだわね。雲は他の生きとるもんの名前を何かに書いて枕に敷けばそのもんは一晩狼様から守られる。そうしてお守り様方の力を借りてあたしらはくくる一人を選ばねばならんということ。狼様をみんなくくれば勝ち。狼様にみんなやられれば負けよ。やすくん、わかったかいね。
Yes, but where did you even learn this?
あたしはあたしのおばあちゃんに聞いたのよ。
Wait,
とにかくそれじゃ長者それぞれの血筋の人がそれぞれの加護を受けてるってことよね。
それはどうかな。身車家の縁者は絶縁者含めてここにはいないし。
宴でお守りが誰に力を授けるかは気まぐれだと聞いております。
じゃあ誰なの？
if they reveal it, they might make themselves targets for the wolves. You won't get anything done if we can't talk about it,
そうか
though.
しら。例えば
Screw this, we're wasting time here. Listen up, my guardian's the snake. How do you even know that?
言い忘れておったよ。お守りはね、夢枕に立つ。そして選ばれた者に印を残す。お力をお借りするならば、頼りにしたためて枕元に入れればいい。印により答えが示される。
Yeah, I had a mark on me. I don't remember the dream though.
蛇は見破る。じゃあ匠兄ちゃんにはこの場の誰が狼かもう分かってるってことなの？
いや、さっき言ったじゃろう。頼りにしたためねばならん。それも選べるのは一夜に一人だけ。
え？明日の朝になるまで分からないってこと？
そうじゃ。
Can I ask you something, Moro? What is it? Why did you reveal such important information for no reason? What do you mean? We have no other information to go on. Based on what has been said, the snake's power is very important. It makes a very powerful asset in the fight against the wolves. So revealing it like you did put you in grave danger. I ain't scared at all. How can you say that? Did you see what those monsters did to those people?
なんだ、化け物とか信じてるじゃん。
It was a figure of speech. Anyways, this turn of events has cost us a viable weapon. Don't just decide that. You don't know shit. Yes, I do. Listen to me, everyone. Anything you say here is free information for the wolves. We should talk things out without overplaying our hand, yeah? It was a grass field with stone littered all over. It
私たち
bordered
の信仰の中
Saganaga.
心はある意味ここ首吊り松の墓所。
Now that's a hell of a name. The place was filled with dense mist, but it was probably thinner than the rest of the settlement. The sunlight seemed brighter here. I could even see a bit further. The hanging pine had to be the old tree hanging at the edge. So this is really a graveyard.
そう。集落の方の岩はなんだかわからないけど、
Actual settlement,
ここの
but
やつは明確にお墓。
oh, I see.
春明さん、最初にここ通った時に墓石にけつまずいてたでしょ。ダメだよ。ごめんなさいしなきゃ。
Huh? Seriously? You should have told me sooner. Ancestors, I'm so sorry.
ごめん。怖がっちゃうと思ってさ。緊急避難とはいえ、こんな半分廃墟みたいで化け物もいる村に来てもらうんだから。
You believe in monsters? I actually knowing what I've seen for myself.
うん。信じてる。
Jim's voice resounded that through the impossible thick, cloudy air. I didn't think you were the type.
春明さんは信じる人を気持ち悪いって思っちゃうタイプかな？
I wouldn't go that far.
嘘だ。顔に書いてある。
Was it that obvious? It wasn't like I found it disgusting or anything. I just didn't think I could get along with people who believed that stuff like that lack actual proof. That was probably how it was. Can I have a reason?
理由？そんなのないよ。
Not sure I believe that.
言ったら、そうだな。神様を見たことがあるから、かな。
That was, huh?
ほら、気持ち悪い。
Tell me more.
おっと、引かないね。でもそれはともかく、もっと直近の危機について話そうよ。
She was hiding something. It was either hard to explain or a lot more impatient she was acting. About the feast thing, huh? All right then.
ちえみエクスプレイン
Yay! I've been waiting for this. A graveyard probably wasn't the place to joke around like this, but at least you could see past your nose and it didn't seem like we had to worry about anyone Easter dropping. I tried putting together everything Chimi had told me. First, Fujiyoshi village had a unique legend. There might have been similar ones somewhere outside, but it's just as treated as Fujiyoshi's exclusive for the time being. The people here worship the god called Great Lord Shini and the avatar of Shinai, or just Shinai-san. Also, the mountain this village was also called Mount Shinai, meaning the religion defined the mountain. In a way, sometime in the past, not known, when Shinai-san had helped the people living here by sending 5 beasts called the Guardians. However, just like nature could be really harsh, he had a scary side too. If you didn't follow his laws of the mountain, he'd curse you without mercy. The Okami-sama was the ultimate form of his cruelty. Through the Okami-sama watched over the hut, the Okami-sama also oppressed, tortured, and punished humans. The other guardians, though, were largely benevolent ones. The snake predicted the weather and harvest yields bolstered the humans' prosperity. The monkeys defiled the wolf, secretly teaching the people of fire along the other important bits of knowledge. The crow pecked and ate up the flesh of the Yomibato, the enemy of Shinai-san. The spider ward off the Yomibato and ensured that the humans slept and dreamt soundly. The Yomibato did indeed mean people from Yomi, as in the land of the dead, but apparently it wasn't very clear what they actually were. Just as predicted before, it was also thought they had something to do with the corruption and death in the land of Yomi. And most likely the idea was that they were dead, and that had returned from Yomi to bring harm to the people still alive. At the start of the legend, Shinai-san, the animals and humans were facing the Yomibato. Apparently that was still how it was. The Komi Fujiyoshi, the leading part of Fujiyoshi, it was the bias of the teaching of the great Lord Shinai's religion. Thanks to that, the 5 beasts, including Okami-san, and Shinai-san, were still worshipped there. In Yasumi-su, however, things were a bit different. The legend here had a turning point, where the human, the snake, the monkey, the crow, and the spider cooperated to kill the Okami-sama. The destruction of their cruel rule, the human village experienced great growth. That had been when the 4 head families, who were said to have the blood of the 4 guardians in their veins, were formed. The snake was Yagamara, the monkey were the Haiguchi, the crow was Nosato, and the spider was Umatsu. However, it didn't end there. The Okama-sama joined the Yomibito side and became a sinister creature that wanted to bring harm to humans. The Saranaga Rapids were Yomibito territory, and the Okama-sama appeared from there whenever the event's evening mist came. The Okama-sama would then kill an inhabitant. take on their form and act like them. But at night, they would show their true self and brutalize the real inhabitants. That was why the people of Yasumisu, who lived next to Saranaga Rapids, had to stop them. For that great Lord Shinai created an event called the Feast of the Yomi Purge. Despite the name, it was no banquet, but a ritual to kill the wolf. In the feast, the villagers were allowed to kill one person a day. They had to basically kill your own people, something that was taboo for ages, but it was permitted here in order to rid the group of the wolf. Some humans were also given the powers of the guardian snake, monkey, crow, and it was a banquet of betrayal. They all drank some sake and chose one to kill.
それが今ここで起きてることの大体の説明かな。
That more or less explains everything. I see. It was a lot to unpack, but I got the gist of it. Basically, the humans betrayed the Okami-sama, and one of their guardian divinities were still paying the price. But there were some points I really didn't get. I won't tell this to anyone but you, but I'm pretty sure I saw the Okami-sama.
どこで？
I just took a peek through a space in the door, so I didn't get a good look. I couldn't tell her that I had a realistic dream where I was killed. It had a human body, the head of a wolf, I think.
嘘。
Can I take that as he saw it seriously?
新内さんのお祭りでも狼様は人身露面で描かれるし、上富士吉に祀られてる像もそうだし。
Before I saw it, though, I heard a woman scream, so I figured that thing killed my Miya-san. Was that the brutality you told me about? I mean, if it killed and replaced her, then you wouldn't have her body, right?
ごめん、説明し忘れた。新内さんの掟は厳しいから、逆らうと様々な罰が与えられるそうで。
You mentioned something like that.
つまりその宴の支度としてお風呂に入って一人で鍵かけて閉じこもって寝るというのに触れちゃったから、だから汚れで死んじゃったということだと思うわけ。
I couldn't see how you could get such mutilation corpses from something called the corruption, but there was something more important. Basically, you didn't tell me about the laws and turned me into the toilet man so I could die, huh?
違うよ。あのね、正直よそ者はどうやっても助からないって思ったんだ。だけどせめてもしかしたら生き残れるかもしれない方法を伝えたくて、見殺しは嫌だったから。
And look at that, I actually survived.
春明さんには悪いけど相当意外だった。
Shame I didn't get splashed, huh?
ふざけないで。私は春明さんが死ななくて本当に良かったと思ってる。
So that scream really was my son, huh? Or was it someone who got brutalized?
それはちょっと。
From what you told me, it's possible that was your scream, and that Okami-sama already replaced you.
まあ話の上は、もちろん私は自分が狼じゃないって知ってるし、そう言うけど。
Just like everyone else, huh?
その通りだけどね。
Now there was a predicament. Question
は
1.
い、どうぞ。
Are those marks the wolf the only proof that there are two wolves? I recalled the strange symbol on the large rock, the two warped diamonds with the
あ
spiral
れは
inside.
黄泉から戻った狼様の印だから、あれが2つあるってことは2人だってことだと思う。
So it's speculation.
でも多分そうだよ。山祭りっていうのがあって、毎年お守りの仮装行列みたいなのが出るんだけど、 狼様の役が何人出るか似たような方法で発表されるから。
So it's normal for there to be multiple wolves, huh?
一応神内様の社には3人の狼様の像が飾ってある。お祭りに何人の狼様が出るかは占いか何かで身車が決めてるみたいだけど、決まったら夜の間にサインを出すんだ。
By leaving those marks on the stones, huh?
置き場、ああいう岩は上富士吉にないから。そうじゃなく社の境内の地面に描かれるらしいよ。
Apparently.
安水の者はお守りのご来訪を安水で待つ習わしだから見たことないんだ。
So one of those marks in Kamifusuji means one wolf in the parade.
厳密には違うかな。上富士吉の狼様のサインはもっとちゃんとした綺麗なひし形だし、あのひし形にぐるぐるってなったのは地獄から復活した狼様のサインで、その話って安水にしかないし。
I see, but still the number of wolves and marks
そう
match
そう、
up.
お祭りだと3人いたらめでたいらしいよ。
Chimi herself didn't look the least bit happy to talk about it. Anyway, all I had to take from this was that there were at most 3 Okami-sama wolves. I had to fix my perception of the situation. The wolves were a group of 3 werewolves. I wasn't too well versed in myth and folklore, but I certainly hadn't heard of any Japanese myth about werewolves or wolfmen. I did hear of the Jimiken possession by fox spirits, but werewolves did seem like a very European thing. I know that Jamukin are dog human beings, like human beings turned into dogs. I didn't know if it was by a fox spirit or not. But yeah. On the other hand, the fact that there were 3 of them seemed pretty standard. I guess it had something to do with the presentation, trinities, and all that. Though the idea of 3 werewolves did seem a bit excessive in the terms of content, I now had a better grasp of the situation that made it easier to understand what was going on here. What about humans who got guardians? How many of them are there?
猿だけ2人で他は1人だよ。神内神社の像もその数だし。
I see, so there are 5 guardians, 2 wolves, and the rest are humans. It's pretty bad that there's 2 wolves.
手強いって意味で？
That's one reason, but you can only kill 1 per day, right? If there are multiple, getting them all will take more time. Oh yeah, and I just realized the crow would be kind of pointless if there was only 1 wolf.
どうして？
The crow's ability lets them tell whether the corpse is a wolf or a human, right? That means that a wolf doesn't transform back into a wolf. Even when it dies, the corpse stays human. That makes the crow's power useful. You wouldn't be able to tell if a wolf was dead otherwise.
それはそうかも。だけど、それと狼の数の関係は？
Imagine if there was only 1 wolf. They killed him. What happens next?
ちえみさん思考停止中。
Exactly. That nothing, or rather the wolves won't kill any more people. Game over. Humans win.
そういうことか。つまり狼が1人だけなら殺人の有無イコール狼の生死。カラスの加護がいらないんだ。
Exactly.
春明さん鋭い。
Well, it's not like this information is very
にしても
useful.
この状況でよく頭が回るよ。やっぱただの学生じゃなくない？
What else could I
探
be?
偵とか。
I like that. I'm a famous detective who came to solve a difficult case in the countryside of Seishu Yokomisoro's world.
普段は浮気調査と債務調査が仕事。
Wow, that's got real quick. Anyway, I got more questions. How many people can the wolves kill per day? It'd suck if everyone else got killed
それもない
overnight.
でしょ。さっきの話だけど、蛇とかは誰を調べるか今夜山に聞くそうだし。
True, and the spider would be pretty useless if they just protected one human while everyone else, included them, died. This is also why I wondered if my Miya-san and Hashimoto-san got brutalized. Killing even 2 people would make it pretty bad, but if it was just 1 per night or day, well, that raises another question. Why do these supernatural monsters even need to follow rules like
不思
that?
議かな。
Of course it is. Imagine if there were 3. One corpse would barely severe a snack.
狼は多分人間を食べるって目的で襲ってるんじゃないよ。
Oh, so they're just out for revenge?
それもよくわからないけど、別に狼はそうしたいからそうしてるんじゃなくて、狼もまた何かの掟みたいなものに従ってるんじゃないかなって気がする。
That was what bothered me so much. The feast of the Yomi Purge had rules, and breaking them would mean being taken by the corruption. Some sort of supernatural punishment from Shinai-san. If this was really just divine retribution, surely he would want that Yomomi Bito done away with immediately. However, instead of the humans retained the aid of their guardians and only one was killed each day. Even the wolves couldn't break that rule. Were the law of the mountain equally binding to both man and wolf? The Christian theology, both humans and Satan were God's creation, equal before him, and acting based on his master plan. Was the god of the mountain similar inclined? A legend of slain wolves and their revenge. Was it really that simple, or was there something else going on? It was quite scary. I wanted to know all about it. I guess we should at least ask the elder how many people the wolves kill.
そうだね。というか、本当に今夜また誰かが殺されるのかな。
We already got 2 casualties, and for all we know, those the wolves replaced might be dead, too. Hold on, they're cleaning up the bodies, right? We gotta check them properly to see if they aren't more than 2 bodies in it
そ
or
れ
anything.
朝一で肝臓じいちゃんが調べた。骨も内臓も2人分しかないって。
Really? Does he have experience in doing this kind of
漁
thing?
師だから動物ばらすのは得意よ。
Well, that made sense. That reminds me, this is probably the most important thing. Why aren't you trying to run away or call the police? I want a straight answer to this. I honestly can't think of a better move in this situation. I was aware that the people here were superstitious, but the superstitions are getting people killed. So why was not another person being objecting?
ここからは逃げられない。
Can I ask why?
ちょっと難しい。けど私たちは知ってるんだ。どうやったってここから逃げられない。この木知っているからあえてそれをやりたくない。
Have you ever seen it yourself, or are you just trusting what someone
ご
else
めん。
said?
はっきりはわからないんだ。ただ知っている。宴が始まれば誰も休みずからは逃げられない。
So it wasn't logic, but blind conviction. Or perhaps she was subconsciously gained that knowledge through some experience. Yeah, as if. So you have no proof, but you still believe you can escape.
そうだね。多分みんなそう言うと思う。
What are the odds that you blind faith is something that is total bullshit?
否定はできない。
Well, if I said that as someone overlooked by the gods of the mountain would try to leave
私
anyway.
は全力で止める。他の人がそれに賛成したとしたら、春明さんは死んでもいいって意味。
That was pretty scary. So you're worried about me.
安水で一番心配してますよ。
Thanks, I just feel the love. She was going all red on me now. This seems to be taking it pretty far for an act.
違います。良識ゆえです。
The others here don't then?
少なくともみんな、よそ者に対しては見た目よりずっと冷たいと思った方がいいよ。私は半分よそ者みたいなものだからそれがわかるし。
You go on a road trip with someone just based on that.
いや、だってあれが根性の別れになるかもしれなかったし、それならせめて色良い返事をしとこうかなとか。
Huh? You only agree because you felt sorry for me? Don't you think you can get out of your promise that easily?
どうしようかな。あ、でもバイク壊れたから無理じゃ。
If it isn't a date, I'll take out a loan for a new one.
デート？そうか、そうなるか。でも学生でローンはまずいでしょ。あとどっちにしてもこれで OK したら死ぬ前振りみたいになるから、出られてから考えよう。そうしよう。
Shit, first she was all over me, and now she's playing hard to get. In normal circumstances, that would be kind of fun, but right now she was the only one I could rely on. The emotional support would have been
話
nice.
戻るけど、警察については別に今じゃなくても期待できないかな。
Because it's supernatural.
それもあるけど、上藤吉には駐在さんがいるだけだし、安水で何が起きたって上藤吉は何もしてくれないからね。
You know, I've been
正
thinking.
解。
I haven't even said anything yet.
そうです。安水ってのは要するに藤吉村の中の村八部の集落なんです。
She really did guess what I was gonna say. Organicism. In ancient times, villages often punished criminals and the like by organizing them. They were ignored or excluded from all social warfare. And basically, people were excluded from larger groups and treated coldly as one step away from banishment. It wasn't just emotional torment either. Back in those days, not getting the help of other people was a matter of life and death, making that quite a harsh punishment. Did you all do something?
そういうわけじゃない人のが多い。牧島さんちや山脇さんちや室さんちは大昔から安水のものだし、内緒にしてくれる？
Sure.
織部香織さんはもともと樋口家によそから嫁いできたけど、旦那さんがちょっとヘマをして亡くなって、それでまだ小さかった安くん連れてこっちに移り住まされたって聞いてる。
Well, that wasn't a pleasant story. I heard it still survived even this day and age. Some royal groups would brazenly cut off their gas or water supply if you didn't fit in. Then again, neighbors in cities had their own communication problems. Basically, humans really hadn't changed much over the years. Still, because of the family troubles in this day and age, it seems so weird, ugly, and behind the
なんて
times.
野里家の元嫡なんだからね。お坊ちゃまなんだよ、実は。
Blue blood? Really?
うん。清之助さんとは叔父と甥の関係。
They were nothing alike.
ただもっちちょっと変なので養子に出されてそのまま休みず行き。
Oh yeah, Kinyonosuke. She had said something like that. Sheesh, what century did they think this was? What about you?
はあ、ちょっと悪さが過ぎまして。
Did you used to be a bit wild?
まあそういうのダメ？
Nope, I'm actually into that.
責めるねお兄さん。
With her pulling hit and runs, I really had no choice. Anyway, this place was basically abandoned. I couldn't expect any outsider help. and everyone here believed they couldn't escape this place due to supernatural reasons. What were my options here? My options are to save. Do 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 do. Gonna save the game. Do 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 do. Gonna save another file. Do 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 do. Gonna go here and skip. If I can't come all the way back and I lose data, I'm gonna leave. It was probably the best to just leave before I got too deep into this while it was still bright out. Being bright left out of the feast hardly guaranteed my safety. I couldn't expect anyone to let me out, but dropping dead in the middle of nowhere seemed better than getting eaten alive here. After making my decision, I wrapped my conversation with Chimi and returned back to her room. She gave me some cup ramen, and it looked like she wouldn't tell me why she hadn't let me eat during the dining hall food until I asked. I didn't want to go any deeper into this, but then I already was, so I didn't ask. During lunch, Chimi went to the bathroom. This was my chance. I took out a notepad, quickly wrote, "Sorry, I'm leaving," took my stuff, and left the room. Using the mist to my advantage, I passed the inhabitants and headed to the upper parts of the settlement. Alright, I got the entrance of the mountain path. The road was unpaved and sided by two giant boulders. I could see why everyone's afraid to go beyond this point. The humid mountain forest looked both gloomy and scary, but walking further seemed far less risky than staying here in the settlement. I walked ahead, and soon had to stop. The road was ruined. A car would have been useless here. This is why Mayami-san and Hashimoto-san couldn't leave yesterday and had to spend the night in the van. However, I wasn't exactly heavy, so getting past this was easy. I had no idea why obstacles like this were enough to hold back video game characters. You could easily walk around it. Holy shit. Though they could have it worse. There was that one game where there was both obstacles and an impossible cliff-like mess. Anyways, I kept on walking. Most of the ground here was covered in dead leaves, ferns, moss, and making it really slippery. I supported myself by holding on to nearby saplings, but I ended breaking a few branches. This mountain seemed completely untouched. Fujiyoshi people clearly didn't do any forestry. I came across a very steep slope. Climbing up was impossible. I'd come this far, avoiding slopes, and followed the road. But before I knew it, I had lost sight of the road. It wasn't at all that smart, but I decided to keep going up. Logic told me that I'd be closer to Kamifujiyoshi the higher I got. Seriously, what was up with this mess? I couldn't see anything ahead or behind me. I felt like I was swimming through rice and water. Or perhaps milk. Jelly. It seemed like it was heavier than air, too dense to breathe in. I felt like it was congealing around me the moment I stopped moving. What was I thinking? This was reality, and this was just mist. I walked up the desolated slope. I kept walking. I had to constantly remind myself that this was just mist and this was nothing but reality. I had no idea what happened in the end. Alright, let's go. I got the bad ending. That'll be it for today. I guess we'll see each other in another episode of Raging Loop. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, ring those bells, do the thing, comment, just anything, just smiley face. Alright, cool. Well, see you guys in the next one.